Hey guys, it's Derek here. Today we have an incredibly special unboxing because I think it might only be the super fans that might pick this up, but let's get into it. So you may have guessed, but today we're opening up a One Piece related resin statue that is of course officially licensed. This is a quarter scale statue of Luffy and Anne. This is from Romance Dawn, or, well, it's technically the prototype before One Piece started. So that's why I say mainly super fans are going to be enjoying this one. I think it's almost a necessary piece in your collection if you can afford it. I guess luckily for me, this isn't too heavy. It's only about 30 pounds, which is actually very, very manageable. And we've learned from last time opening things up in here, I've moved myself way further back just to be safe. It's kind of interesting with this piece though, there aren't any straps that usually go around a resin statue. This is manufactured by Toei, or at least that's all the information I could get on it, because normally these are manufactured by companies like Jimei or Ryu or something like that, but I couldn't find any info on this one. But it was a crazy deal. That was the main reason why I picked it up. Ooh, let me cut your side a little more. Everything is nicely laid out, and there's no extra pieces or anything. Now, I originally got this for $475 US, and shipping was about $142, and I didn't pay any customs fees, luckily. This was from FNC, and normal price for this was $775, so $300 off retail price. I had to pick it up. Okay, where does this way? So right on top here, we do get an envelope that should have the instruction manual and also our edition size or something along those lines. Now, this one's pretty unique because it's probably the most cursed version available because it is number 444 out of 499 units worldwide, which makes this very, very special and incredibly limited. Is there instructions? Okay, there aren't instructions. The beautiful base right here. Ugh. Looks like we already got our first casualty here because the bone that's supposed to go into the Niku or the meat snapped off in shipping. So I think this is going to be an easy fix, probably just some super glue. Yeah, the base in general looks pretty solid. This is actually going to be my very first quarter scale statue. So I'm actually really excited about this. And ooh, it being super limited aside, it's also the Romance Dawn version, so it's actually the prototype to One Piece, and you get to see Luffy before he became the Luffy we all know. And there's also another character here that I gotta go pick up. Just give me a second. So we got Anne over here, or a piece of Anne. Let me just get this all situated. I think it goes this way. Goes in like that, has a nice magnet. This arm goes in like that. This other arm of his left arm, is a little bit strange because it doesn't actually have a molded hand because it's supposed to go into his pocket. Very interesting. Kind of strange though, but there we go. We got Anne's head in place. And the last piece is the Straw Hat flag, which, where does it go? There's a peg right here, right on his shoulder, and I believe it goes under. Oh, there we go. Interesting placement of that one there, because it basically also touches Anne's head, or the top of Anne's head. Oh boy. Where do I start? Well, first off, this is a quarter scale statue, so 1/4, and it's also 21 inches tall. So it's not actually going to be the biggest statue I have in the collection. Wiper kind of still takes the cake for that, and it's a little bit shorter than the Enel that I have, which are both technically 1/6 scale. But I will have to say though, the amount of details I did put in here, they're pretty good for the source material in this case, because this is before any of the story really progressed or happened. So you only really get the two main characters in this case, which are Luffy and Anne. Yes, I said Anne and not Nami, even though she looks incredibly similar to Nami, but this is the prototype for Nami herself. Blue-haired Anne, and if you actually do watch the special that they put out for Romance Dawn, episode 907 in the anime, you'll actually see that she's actually quite a badass. She actually fights with a sword and everything. Pretty cool. I will say though, it is a little bit interesting seeing Luffy without the scar underneath his eye, but again, this is some prototype stuff, and I think that's where the charm of this actually comes out the most. I do actually like how they did the waves in the front. It's clear green resin with a little bit of clearer resin near the tips and some white to kind of accentuate the waves a little bit. So that's really cool. Honestly, this does feel like a piece that you'd be able to put out in a living room. It's super simple. It's a little bit cartoony, and that's kind of goes back to what original One Piece vibes were like. It was a very goofy and cartoony looking anime, and honestly, I love this. In terms of paintwork, it is the most basic paint job I've seen on a resin statue yet, and that might actually contribute to why the price of this went down from the original $775. $300 off retail is nothing to scoff at. It is essentially half off, but I guess if you're crazy enough or enough of a super fan like I am for One Piece, you'd want something that represents One Piece before One Piece even started. I think this is going to be one of those resin pieces that will become incredibly sought after in the future, potentially having the price go way up higher than retail again, just because this signifies a simpler time, and eventually when One Piece does finish, you're going to want to remember it. This may not be the One Piece that we all grew up and watched, but it's also really cool to see where Oda has come with his designs and how he does storytelling, because he's definitely changed things up quite a bit, and it's just fun to see what brought us all here to this point. We're still in Wano in the anime right now, but this is cool. Taking a look back at the very beginning. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider giving this a like. I know this might have been a shorter video, just because there's not a whole lot to talk about. I've been a little scatterbrained recently, but let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about a statue like this. Is it worth the money? Would you spend the money? And I hope to see you guys at the next one. Bye bye for now.